before Entity Paradigm was a band. There were the two bands, Entity and Paradigm, and I believe you were part of Entity. Can you tell me how you started to form that band, got all the members together, and started practicing and playing music together?
Actually, the thing is, I was born in a music family, so music was part of my upbringing from day one. I was uh, practicing music at the age of 11, 12, and my first band was always Entity. And Entity was created, I believe, when I was 1996, 1995, 1996, when I went into college. So at that point, the Lahore underground scene didn't exist much because there were only a few bands. There was Coven, there was Mindroid, and Midnight Madness, some other stuff like that. So at that time, I formed a band called Entity, and we started. There was hardly any underground gigs at that time, so uh, uh, I asked my parents to invest in my concerts. So that's how it started, and the underground scene slowly evolved because I started taking control of my own gigs, and I was a theater actor at that time. So I used to do theater, and from theater I used to do at the end of the my theater run, which was 7, 8 days of theater performance. In the end, I used to do a gig night, and in gig night I used to invite local bands that I have the lights, I have the stage, I have the sound. So just come and perform. And I used to make money, a little bit of money from here and there. So that's how Entity started, and the Lahore underground scene slowly grew. Internet wasn't that uh, well. There was hardly any internet at that time. MIRC. So we used to chat on MIRC and stuff like that. So that's how Entity started.
All right. On the topic of the underground gigs that you're organizing, some of your bandmates said that you were huge in organizing these underground concerts. Can you sort of expand on them, on how you organized them and what it was like?
Yeah, back then, the Lahori crowd, the cool crowd, the kids and everything, and the cool, the it crowd. If you have a theater company, and Lahore was still very huge on theater. So I formed a theater company, and from a theater company, I used to do theater plays, but my plays were mostly comedy plays. And when I used to do theater festivals, I used to invite different schools and colleges to come and perform on theater. And slowly, we started making a name for ourselves. And after every 3 months, we used to have gig nights. After every 6 months, we used to have a rock festival in which bands from Lahore started coming in, Islamabad, Multan, Karachi. And then there was a peace festival, I think, in Karachi. Entity performed over there. So, I mean, we started becoming huge in the underground scene. And from it was that when I met Paradigm for the first time. I met Zulfi and I met Fawad and Hassan, and they were boys from Fast. So uh, that's how we started meeting each other. But we weren't that mm, we weren't the best of friends at that time because I was the boss and I used to pay them. And slowly, what happened was me and Fawad, we ended up working in a a sitcom called Jet and Bond, and we ended up making a soundtrack for it. So that's how the song was produced by me, Zulfi, and Fawad, and Salman Albert at that time, I believe. So that's how the song came together, which was Hame Azma. Zain Ahmed, who was the director of Jack and Bond, said, "Why don't you, both of you, make a song together?" So we made that song, and that song became popular on television because every week Jack and Bond used to air. So that song was the theme song. So that's how it became popular. And then Zulfi sent that song to Pepsi Battle of the Bands. And from there, we decided, okay, instead of going as two bands, we should go as one band. So they said, okay, they're five, we're three. So in the end of the day, 8 people went to Pepsi Battle of the Bands. That's how it started.
All right. Can you tell me what it was like to go from those smaller underground gigs to larger, more mainstream gigs? You know, things like, larger Pepsi Battle of the Bands, or just on tour internationally.
Well, of course, it was big because we started getting famous, and we started getting more and more shows. But when we went to Pepsi Battle of the Bands, it was already planned. They told us a day before that this is all planned. You're going to lose and everything. Our is going to win and everything. So yeah, that was the first time I understood that how television and media works, because everything is planned. You need to know. And RO had a bigger PR at that time because they were all musicians for Vital Signs at that time, and Vital Signs was the judge at that time. So, but Entity, what we did was Entity Paradigm. We took that money. We didn't go for the video. We said, please give us the money. And we gave all the money to Mikal Hussain. And Mikal Hussain ended up producing our entire album. So that's how our album came first in the market. And it was the first alternative rock album at that time. And from there, EP just blew up.
All right. What were some of your musical influences, and what drew you towards sort of your rap rock style?
Drugs. Nah, man, I don't do drugs. I just smoke cigars. That's about it. No. I think my early influences were my nano, Nurjan, because, like I said, I grew up in a family where music was just as breathing and eating. Music was all around me, and there was my khalu, my ex-khalu, Khalid Wahid Saab, he was a very early influence on my career, because he is the one who introduced me to rock music, Eagles, um, early Jethro Tull, and bands. I mean, the early influences that I remember was White Snakes, Bon Jovi, and stuff like that. So he was the one who introduced me to all these things. The rap, I was introduced to, the first rap song that I heard and I learned was NWA. And somebody gave me a cassette, because there was this song by Run DMC and Aerosmith, Walk This Way. I still remember having that impact. And then I ended up buying an album for NWA. I went because at that time, Pakistan didn't used to have albums. So that song was about Run DMC, but the guy in the shop, he said, "Oh, you like rap? So this is the song." So he gave me NWA. NWA, the first album that I got, and I was just blown away that they're abusing, they're saying the F word and everything and all that. So I was blown away by that. So that was my early influence. Then I started getting into more and more rap music. I started getting more and more into group music. I was a huge R.D. Burman fan. I was a huge early rock bands. One of my favorite bands was at that time was Metallica. The '91 album, when it came out, it was just like amazing. And then Megadeth, stuff like that, Pantera. So I was hugely inspired by these sounds. And when I heard Limp Bizkit, that was later down the line, Limp Bizkit and Linkin Park and everything. So that's more or less the sound of EP that came about. So yeah.
So can you tell us about some of your current projects? What are you working on now?
Well, musically, or just as in
Just
career-wise?
music or acting, music, acting, hosting, just whatever you're working on right now.
Oh,
We're pivoting a little bit.
well, Alhamdulillah, it's I mean, a lot of things. My new show is about to come, which is called Excuse Me. Then I've done 3 films already, but just waiting for them to release. I'm starting a new project with Humayun. We're starting shooting in about 5 days. So apart from that, I am currently also going to be hosting 2, 3 award shows. So yeah, just keeping myself busy.
I'm
All
going to
right,
intrude and
so
ask a question real quick, Ayaan. Is EP still around? Are they going to make any music soon? Just something for your fans to look forward to?
Well, EP is always around. I know where Zulfi lives. I know where Fawad lives, and yeah. But we do meet up every now and then, and Zulfi is doing great, mashallah. He's the only one who's truly connected to music because of Nescafe Basement and Coke Studio. But Fawad and me, we are more inclined towards acting. We're more inclined towards the entertainment industry rather than music. But yeah, I keep doing music every now and then, but that's only regarding if a project comes about because um I think EP reunion is not anytime soon. I don't see any monetary value in that, to be very honest. But you never know. We might end up doing something together, but I don't think uh, we're all busy, extremely busy with what we're doing, and Alhamdulillah, all of us are extremely successful at what we're doing. So, and I think new sound and the new generation that is coming up, they're doing amazing work. Most of them are doing amazing work. So yeah, I think it's their time. So I don't see any motivation of doing a bad thing right now.
So, one
yes, it's
follow-up question. Sorry, one follow-up question.
yeah.
If something like Pepsi or Coke come along and they're willing to invest money-wise to get you all together, like it happened recently, do you think EP will perform?
Yeah, of course. Money is the best motivator. So yeah, if the money is right, why not?
All right, Ayaan, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, so we're wrapping up now. So here's our last question. Are there any funny stories from the EP days that you'd like to share that your diehard fans may not know about?
There's a shitload of stories, man. Your interview is supposed to be for family, so let's keep it that way. Well, there are a few that the first performance that we did of Hame Azma, I was very inspired by Triple H at that time. So I used to have the Triple H, the wrestler from WWE. So I used to drink water and I used to hold it in my mouth. And whenever the song used to start, I used to just spray that. So the first performance we did on Pepsi Battle of the Band stage, I threw water all over the stage and Zulfi ended up slipping and he broke his new guitar. So that how EP started. He was pissed off that he fucking broke a guitar. And well, in the end, that's how EP started with a broken guitar. So yeah.